Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fusco and Friends, the one and only podcast that you need to listen to. Come along for the journey where we chat to some fabulously interesting people about their lives, careers, and so much more. Remember to tell 3 friends if you enjoyed this, and let's get started.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fusco and Friends, and today I'm joined by Mr. Matthew Cooper.
Hello. You may recognise me from Tricky Talk.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, we've got another podcast, and it's on Magic for Beginners. It's called Tricky Talk, and we talk about
So where's
tricks.
this one going to be?
This is going to be on Fusco and Friends and also Magic for Beginners.
Oh, you have a separate channel?
Yeah, so
right.
the
I'll
Fusco and
have to
Friends
subscribe.
stuff is just for all Fusco and Friends, so I can have podcasts with friends, people who I admire,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. And then all of the magicians and magic-related ones are going to go on Magic for Beginners.
All right.
And then any photographers and videographers go on Academy of Aperture.
Oh,
which
so
is
it's
another
not just
YouTube
magic?
channel. No.
Ah, this is good.
So this is like a generic podcast for...
Who was on the first one? Was there one?
Well, at the minute, so the way it should go on is one with just me,
Uh-huh.
talking about this, one with me and Rara,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's an old one that I did with a photographer called Chris Harrison.
Uh-huh.
He's based in Newcastle, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do a new one with him eventually.
Uh-huh.
Then I think I've done a podcast with Daniel Madison
Yeah.
when I was down here, so I'll probably just put that on.
Well, you haven't put that on yet?
No,
That was a long time ago,
I
wasn't
know. Well, it's on Magic for Beginners, but it's not on Fusco and Friends
it?
yet.
Oh, is it right? Okay.
Because technically it's not my podcast, but I thought I'd put that on. And then there's also one with a guy called Jordan Hauser from America who I met on YouTube, and we did a podcast together as well, which is
Oh,
quite
right.
an old one, but
Right, okay.
so those should be on first, and then this one.
So
on
am I your first...
on Magic for Beginners,
So,
you're the first magician
well, other than Daniel Madison.
other than Daniel Madison.
So, you know, that's not that bad, right?
No?
That's not that bad. It's
And then-
definitely not because we've just recorded 3 podcasts on the bounce and
No,
I'm
definitely
here already to do it.
Yeah, I want to try and like go through all of the Middlesbrough members in terms of getting them on the podcast, not other things.
Mhm.
Like, although some probably go through them, but
Yeah. Well, I think you should get some of the old boys on here. You know, the amount of knowledge that you get out of here.
yeah,
Get Eric on here.
I know.
Be like, oh, so I build all my own stuff.
What's this mental, the amount of stuff he builds?
Yeah,
I know,
it's
it's
great.
like-
It's crazy, isn't it? To be fair, he's building me something at the minute.
Is he?
Yeah.
I know. Gary was saying he was like, you have to get John Archer on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, he'll do something.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%. Lives a fair bit away from you, though, so you might
Yeah.
have to go to him.
Well, he used to live locally, doesn't he? Now he's like down south somewhere.
No, it's
He's-
near the seaside.
Is it? I thought you moved away.
Not that far. Maybe like an hour away.
Mm.
Maybe about an hour away.
I don't mind travelling. So
Yeah. It's not that far.
no.
Yeah, he used to live in Stockton. He used to be local.
Yeah.
But yeah, he moved.
And
But it's
then
not too far.
probably by the time this was released, I would have been down to Derby and done a podcast with Vinny Sagoo as well.
Does he live in Derby?
No, he's about an hour away. I think Leicester or Leicestershire.
All right. So you're going down to Derby, though?
Yeah,
Can I come?
if you want.
Because I've got a friend that lives down in Derby, so I
Right.
could, if you ever want to just, we'll go see him.
So I'll go for the weekend, and then Vinny's going to come to the Airbnb, and we're going to do a
No
podcast
way.
together.
Can I come then? I won't be in
There's
the
a tricky
podcast.
talk.
I just want to. Yeah, we could have him on that. We could have him on a tricky talk.
Yeah, and then I want to try and get other people on, like
We
different
could,
things.
we could bash up 2 with him.
So I know that Harry Harrington's coming to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know whether we get it lined up so we can come here and do a podcast before or something and
Yeah, we'll bring him in.
take him down. I don't know, we'll see. Or the same as well, we can take this and go wherever we want. And
Yeah. I know Marty was on about seeing if he'd come like a day before and like take him out for a beer and that. So let me bring him up here and do this.
yeah, I was going to drop my message when I see what
Yeah,
the crack is
100%.
and do that. But yeah, enough about that.
Sorry.
Let's talk about you.
Oh, okay.
So you are Matt Cooper, my friend. So
Yeah, that's
for,
me.
For no one who knows, never seen Tricky Talk, never seen you. Who are you and
I
what
am
do you do?
a wedding restaurant magician around the Teesside area, northeast. I've been doing it since I was a kid, really. Since I was about maybe 8-year-old or something like that, I started doing magic, but fell out of love with it maybe teenager and stuff like that, which I'll get on to why. And then one of my ex-girlfriend said to me, she's like, why do you have so many like decks of cards in your cupboard? And I said, I used to be a magician. She went, no way, show me some stuff. And I showed her some stuff. And I thought, wow, do you know what? I'm half decent at this. Do you know, I'll give it another go. And then I got into I just started watching magicians on YouTube and stuff like that. And then the nightclub Empire in Middlesbrough gave me a break and sort of let me do the first gig there. So that was great because I got all my publicity done for free and just had photos done by them. And then since there, I've never really stopped. I just kind of started there maybe about a year or two before COVID. Then obviously COVID happened, and then I've just kind of built up. So from doing friends' weddings to friends' house parties to then making a Facebook page, making a website, getting a few odd gigs, and then doing a few wedding fairs, and then this year it's just blew up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started to how I am now. How I actually got into magic, I think it's something along that. I vaguely remember being on holiday and there was a magician, and he took me. I want to say he took me into a back room, and he showed me all these tricks when I was on holiday.
Is that like a little room of candy? Do you want to see a trick?
Yeah, something like that, to be fair. I don't actually know, but I remember
do you want to see me magic wand?
I remember I used to do magic at the hotel. It could have been an odd dream, to be fair. I don't have a clue. And then I think I must have got into it after that. And then I have some family in Canada, and we went on holiday. Must have been about 14, 15 years ago now, if not longer. And I know there was a magic shop quite local. This was back when bricks and mortar stores were all over the place. And I think it was called Morrissey Magic in Toronto.
Right.
And I went to there and I spent maybe $100 and I got tons of tricks. A bunch of little 10-year stuff, little card things and stuff like that. And I came back and I did a little show. And then that's kind of what got me into it, I think. Obviously seeing that, thought, I like that. And then going there and being able to actually go to the magic shop, not knowing anything and just being like, what do you recommend for me? I've just been starting out.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just kind of, I grew it and then I stopped doing it.
What can you remember as one of the first tricks that you seen to get you into magic, and then what was one of the first tricks that you wanted to perform?
So, honestly, I don't remember the first trick I ever seen. As I say, because from my knowledge, I was on holiday and it was probably something on stage. But the first trick that I ever performed that I remember that was that I loved was Crystal Cleaver by Tenyo. That's the one that I bought from the magic shop.
Yeah.
I probably had bought other things in magic sets and stuff like that, but the first proper trick that I bought from a magic shop that I loved was that little Crystal Cleaver, and I did it in a talent show in primary school, and I got a teacher's ring, and I was like, bang, and everyone was just like, what the hell? And I was thinking, yeah, that was the best thing, and I lost to some kid dancing anyway. So that was, but yeah, that's the first thing I ever remember buying that I truly loved. As I said, I probably had more things before that, but can't really remember. Just magic sets other than that. But that was the first one that I bought in that shop that I loved.
Yeah.
And I still got it today.
Yeah.
It's on my shelf in my room.
The same one or
exactly the same one.
Another bought one?
No, never bought another one. Exactly the same one that I bought. It's probably, as I say, 15 odd years old now.
Is there anything else that you've got from that initial collection that you purchased that you can remember that you got?
Yeah. There was another 10-year trick that I bought where there's these miniature cards and you pick one, you place them in these there's 4, I can't remember the name of the trick. If I find it I'll let you know, but there's these little picture frames and you've got this tube that you look through, and when you twist it, your card either disappears or is the only one there.
Right.
And it's on a little stand, and that's it. I've still got that as well. The other thing, but I don't think I have this anymore, or if I do, I have no idea where it is. It's an appearing cane. I got a silver appearing cane, and it's made out of paper.
Yeah.
It was $30 back then, and that was they were the things that I remember buying. I probably bought a deck of cards, and that was about it, to be fair. Now, I don't know, actually, here's the thing. I don't know if that was my first magic shop. I feel like it was, but then Magic Box, obviously, was all, when it was in Percy Street.
Yeah.
Oh, no, to be fair, it wasn't in Percy Street. It was the first time I went to Magic Box was when it was in the Metro Centre.
Right.
And I always remember going with my dad. We went to the one in the Metro Centre, and he said, we don't really sell a lot of magic from here, but go get the bus to Percy Street and go there. So me and my dad did, and I always remember it was a young-looking Graham. He sold me all of my first tricks, but for the life of me, I can't remember what I bought other than one thing, which was a coin trick. It was a little brass thing that you put a 10 pence in, and you put it in one hand, and the 10 pence would vanish and appear back in the centre. It was signed as well. And I bought that, and I lost it, do you know? And a few years ago, I went back to Magic Box, and I said, do you have this little brass thing that you put a coin in, and then, is it, what's his name? Is it Chris? Is it Chris in Magic Box?
Possibly.
He went in a box once, and he went, is it this thing? And I went, yeah, it's one of those. He went, oh, yeah, here you go. And he gave us it. I was just like, no way. Because that's one of the first things I ever bought from Magic Box, and I just always remember it. God knows what it's called. I've never seen another one. I think I've already got the only one in existence now. Yeah. To be fair.
Is it like similar to the one that Eric had? So you put the coin in and you push it through, and then
no, it's literally like a little brass disc that fits a 10 pence piece. So you sign one side and I sign the other. You put it in there, and then you take it out your hand, and you visually hold it over here, and you squeeze onto this, and then as you open, it vanishes and it appears here.
Yeah.
That's it. It's so good. It's so good. That's the first thing I remember buying from Magic Box.
I have to dig it out, and then we'll have to.
I've still got it.
Round.
As I say, with me making my little magic room in my house, I've got everything that I've ever bought. But I'll happily show you on a Tricky Talk podcast.
Yeah.
The first things we ever bought. That's the new subject. Get in.
But mine was a bicycle stripper deck.
A bicycle what?
So it was a
bicycle
So it's like a fake bicycle stripper deck.
Right, okay.
So got into Magic, was like, want to buy this as like first thing.
Yeah.
Watching that, and I was just like, so that was the first sort of trick thing I bought, like a trick deck. Yeah.
No way. I don't think I ever started out with cards. Yeah. I think because the amount of variety that you get in a Magic set, I didn't even think
there's not many
tricks.
card stuff, is it? It's
no. One of the first card tricks that I learned was probably one of the ones you like, the 4 robbers. And then I learned another one. It was a self-working one, and it was if you have 52 cards, was it something you deal one card down, and if it's a 5, you count up to 13, so every card after is 1, and then you do it until you run out of cards. Then you pick 3 piles, then you turn the top card over on each of those piles. Then you deal down that many cards, then 10, and then whatever the value, but however many cards you have in your hand, that's the value of the middle card. Yeah. Have you seen that?
I don't know. It sounds familiar, but it sounds a bit more of a complex version.
It's not. It's so easy. It's so easy. I'll do it for you after this.
I think a lot of them is like the self-working card tricks.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I got into as well.
One of the hardest card tricks that I learned, well, I wouldn't say hardest now, but do you remember This, That and the Other? Remember when that was on YouTube and it blew up? I got my mum to make me 3 This, That and the Other cards, and that's probably my most complicated sleight of hand that I can do, to be fair. And I learned it when I was a kid, and I used to tell the story of This, That and the Other, and that was my first sort of learning of double lifts and all them sort of moves. And that was one of my first tricks that I learned there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're probably like, I can't put my finger on one, which was my first one, but in the UK, it was that little coin thing. In Canada, it was Crystal Cleaver. And then card trick-wise, it was probably that self-working one, 4 robbers, and then This, That and the Other when I got a little bit better.
So what about the demise of the talent show? What occurred after that? Like, how did you progress on with your magic?
I don't know. That's not why I fell out of love with magic, to be fair.
You could have done like crying into a newspaper and then poured it out.
if I was only that good, clever to do that. No, the reason that I fell out of love with magic when I was younger was, I think it was something to do. Now, bear in mind, I'm in the Middlesbrough Circle now. Both of us are, but I think it was to do with the Middlesbrough Circle. I'm not afraid to say that, because when I was younger, I wasn't really into magic as probably all the other members were. And my dad found them, and he said, "Oh, there's a Middlesbrough circle of magicians." And there was a prep group back then. We don't have it now, but we had a prep group, and there was me and a bunch of other kids, and we all used to go every other Monday, and we learned some stuff, and we did stuff. And then I think one night it was coin magic or something like that. Now, I don't do coins. I know the first thing I bought was a coin, but I don't do coin magic and stuff like that. And some of these kids were like phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, I think Patrick was there
Right.
when I was there. We didn't know each other then, though. And then there was another guy who left, now a drummer in some band. And these were all phenomenal magicians. And I was already just starting out, so I was really nervous kid anyway.
Yeah.
And then I did some coin thing. And then they tell you, like, oh, you could do this better, you could do this better. And I just kind of didn't like it. I was just like, I don't do coin magic, though. So I've came and I've done this trick because it's coin night.
Yeah.
And I get criticised because I'm not very good at it. But then I don't do coin stuff. I got up
So
because
I'm not going to be good at it.
I'm not going to be good at it, right? And I didn't really want to perform it. I didn't feel comfortable. But I felt like I had to do something because I was trying to get more, I don't know, trying to include myself more.
Yeah.
And as I say, I was a shy kid, so I was shaking, I was nervous. And then from that, I think, I don't know, from that I was just like a bit put off by it all. So I didn't really go back. And I just did what I wanted to do, like the tricks that I wanted to do. And then I think I just started school, and then I didn't really take anything to school, and then it was primary school that mainly I was doing it, and then maybe a little bit in secondary school, like year 7 and 8. But then getting older, you know, I got more friends.
It probably wasn't like in or hip thing to do.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're probably called a loser for it back then. But it's totally changed now.
Yeah.
It's totally changed. But yeah, I probably didn't do any in school. I did a few bits and stuff like that, and then as I gradually just got older, I just kind of thought, I got new friends, going out, doing things, so I just kind of forgot about it all. And then, as I say, when I was in college, still didn't do any, but then one of my ex-girlfriends said, like, why do you have all this stuff? And I said, no, it's this reason. And then from that, like, I sort of said, oh, I'm not that bad at it. So I thought I'd start learning again, and then when I started learning again, I found Chris Ramsey on YouTube, and I just started learning from that. And then from there, it's just been up and up and up. I've joined the Middlesbrough Circle again, because Tom put me forward again. I've made a great group of friends. I mean, we became friends and stuff like that. And yeah.
So with Chris Ramsey, what about your tattoos?
I love his tattoos, so I obviously have a lot of tattoos as well, but I take a lot of inspiration from him. He has a lot of magic tattoos, so I thought, ooh, I'd love a magic sleeve tattoo. So I think it's a very common one to get the pips on your sleeve that says love. But I've got things like magic ones, I've got cutting a lady in half, I think he's got some bigger versions of these, but I've got like a couple of slights going up my arm and stuff like that. And yeah, the classic orange tree like him. I really loved his, but mine's designed a little bit differently. But I love all them sort of stuff. So he's got a hell of a lot. I'm still waiting to get finished, but I don't know when I can be bothered. To be fair. I'm just not in no rush.
And your playing cards, have you expanded your collection since then?
I've got at least 100.
Right.
That's I know that. I have this thing on the wall that holds 100 cards, and that's full.
Yeah.
I ended up buying a lot of tape deck holders, and I have a swivel one that sits on top of my cabinet. That's full, and I have a pull-out drawer now. I have red decks in one, sealed ones. I have blue decks in the other. If I ever need a new deck, I can go in there.
Yeah.
I've got some trick decks in the other one. I've got things that I don't use, and I've just got a bunch of other decks of cards. I haven't bought any in a long time because it's all full, to be fair. So I bought loads until it was full, and then I just stopped, to be fair. But I've been buying a few uncut sheets lately. I've got one by the Neat Review, 1000, who's an artist on YouTube. He designed his own playing cards, so I backed him on Kickstarter, and I just got that. That was probably the last ones that I bought. So it was Vivid Kingdoms.
Right.
And I got 2 signed decks, couple of T-shirts by him. He does loads of stuff. He designs loads of different things, and then uncut sheets as well.
Yeah.
So about that.
What about favourite decks? In your
Red
collection?
Bicycle. Only use Red Bicycle. Now my favourite deck. Without looking on my wall now, I couldn't tell you, but off the top of my head, probably the DMC marked ones. They're just they're really nice cards. They're great markings and they look smart. I like Darren Brown's cards. His were nice. Who else do I have? I don't know. Without looking on my wall, I really
Ramsey
wouldn't know.
ones as well.
Yeah, I've got the Chris Ramsey ones. I've got the firsts, V1s, V2s, and all that. What else do I have? I have a deck of cards that maybe not a lot of people will have, actually. You know Tom Bolton in Durham? He gave me one of his cards.
Right.
His cards once that he got made from there.
Yeah.
Signed him and all. Thanks, mate.
Where's mine, Tom?
But yeah, got them. And they're really nice cards. I think they're made by Cardamundi or something. And they're really nice cards. But favourite playing cards, yeah, it'd probably be the marked ones or something like that. But again, I only use Red Bicycles. And I use them until they die. A lot of people will say, oh, new deck of cards every gig. But I'm like, with me not doing so many card tricks, I only use my cards one trick in my set. So they're never really that used.
Yeah.
I'll only really ever replace them if I'm going to Empire and they get dropped in drinks. But it's not often that anyone has my cards anyway, so I have total control over my cards anyway.
Yeah.
So I end up getting months and months and months out of a deck of cards. So it's really worked
It's
out.
always the bonus. You don't have to fork out enough money.
Exactly. I mean, I tend to buy them on Amazon because that's where I've found them the cheapest. It's always you always find on the warehouse deals that they go quite cheap. And then, I don't know why, but Amazon is selling for 2 packs for a blue and a red. It's $3.99, so it's £2 a deck. Whereas if you buy a brick, it's like 30 odd quid or almost £40. So I'm like, it's cheaper.
I think
to buy.
I'd posted some in the Magician's Only one. They got down to like £20 or £21 for a brick. So it was like £1.30 odd or something. So I remember posting that, and loads of people have bought them.
Yeah.
I was like, just stock up while you can.
Do you know that? But you bought some and I bought some. It's you have some over there. It's like a box. It's like a trick deck box, mentalism box, and a cardistry box. And they were $1.99, and I bought loads of them. So I've been using them. What are they? Core-pad cards.
Yeah, the core bag.
Yeah. And they're still like nice finished cards. So I've been using them for a while.
I think a lot of people struggle to find bricks of them in the UK.
Oh yeah.
You can buy single ones, but you can't buy bricks. I know a few people have asked where to get them.
Right. We'll just buy out all them. They're only $1.99 for a box, and you get a blue and a red.
I know. What about when it comes to books and things? What?
I don't read. I'm sorry. The only book I've ever read in my life is Green Eggs and Ham, all the way through. It's a true story, that.
Yeah.
No, I'm more a listener, so I'd rather watch things. I learn from doing things. Whether it's being autistic, I don't know. I don't know if I am. But I just can't read a book and just be into it. Unless I know there's a trick that I want to do.
Yeah.
But then again, I'd have had to watch the trailer.
Yeah, then you'd have to read the entire book to think, oh, that's a trick that I want to do, and then learn it.
So there's a trailer that I watched for a book that was coming out, and I heard of a trick in it, and I went, oh, I want to learn that trick. So I actually read that trick. Can't remember it. It was some chair test or something like that. I think it was in what book was it? Hector Chadwick's book. But yeah, I want to read more. I've got hundreds and hundreds of books. I've got hundreds of lectures and notes and stuff like this. And it's just finding the time to sit down and going, do I like this guy? Okay, let's have a look what we can do. Because you can find some gems from books. You know, real magician foolers. Do you know, Dan showed me some stuff. I was like, where did you learn that? He's like, oh, this book. I went, you know, like the Royal Road of Card Magic. He learned that book. Like, every magician's read it. And I'm just like, I feel so stupid. Because I should know that. But yeah, books-wise, I've got loads, but I don't read a lot, as much as I should.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, what about any DVDs and downloads and stuff? Have you got any ones where you've maybe watched them in the past and then developed routines and tricks that you've held on to?
So I like the Penguin lectures. Love them. they're great. And I always get the ones that are, you know, the magicians that I looked up to and stuff like that. I get them ones. But video-wise, that I think... Do you know one of the first videos that I ever got was a Stephen Mulhern VHS, and I always remember watching it on repeat.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a Jay Sankey. Jay Sankey was one of the first magicians that I ever knew by watching stuff on like a Magic Box on the websites and stuff like that. So I think I had like a Jay Sankey DVD. Can't remember what's on it, but I remember watching like Jay Sankey. He was one of the first ones that sort of I learnt off. And he doesn't do a lot of flashy gimmick stuff or anything like that. So I think that's why I liked him a lot. And he does a lot of slides and it's quite good. So I can't put my finger on exactly one thing, but I remember it was Jay Sankey, and then my first ever video, it was a VHS, and it was Stephen Mulhern.
Yeah.
I always used to watch it on was it a Friday or a Monday or a Friday? I can't remember. He had a TV show, maybe called Tricky TV. I can't remember.
I think it was, yeah.
And I used to watch it every Monday. I loved it. I remember the first one I learnt from that was it? You had to make a tube out of a bit of paper, and you had to put an apple in, and then you lifted it up, and then the apple went to that one. You had to squeeze the apple and hold it up. And I always remember that trick. But that's...
Yeah, because they do it with just like the red cups and stuff now, don't they? Put like a plastic cup, so oh look, the apple's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so that's the videos I remember, and that's maybe the first trick that I ever remember from that. But that I've took. To be fair, my routine has changed now from when I first started out.
I was going to say, what sort of things did you have in your repertoire when you started out doing magic?
I hadn't a clue. Literally, I was just buying anything. But one trick that I've actually done, there's another thing. Graham, you probably shouldn't have sold me this. Anyway, where were we?
So if you're on the audio version, then you'll have no difference at all. You would have captured everything. But if you're watching the video version, the camera ran out of memory, so you'll just have some picture over the top of that bit. We're talking about DVDs and videos.
So I said Jay Sankey was on one of the first ones that I watched, Stephen Mulhern.
And then we're on tricks in repertoire, which...
Oh yeah, that was
sort
it.
of...
So the first... Yeah, that was it. The first trick one of the first tricks I bought from Magic Box, along with that little coin thing, was a colour changing knife set, which I've still got today and I still use in my routine. So my routine now, I've been doing the same exact routine for the past at least 6 years, because when I started doing Empire, I had no idea what to do, because for the years and years that I've been doing Magic, I've always been like buying tricks, doing little things like this. And then when I went to Empire, I thought, right, what am I going to perform? Like, this is my first paid gig. What am I actually going to perform? So I took so much, which, again, we've probably talked about, like, the tricky talk of having, like, pockets full of decks of cards. And I took loads. I took loads and loads and loads, and I hadn't got a clue what I was going to perform. So I just did things, and I'm like, oh, that didn't really get a good reaction. All right, I'll try this. So I did something else. And then I did, but my whole routine when I first started was just like, literally, I was just going, okay, now I'm going to show you this. Okay, now I'm going to show you this. And I didn't really have any flow to it. Where over the years, I've kind of like thought, I like this. This is a good opener. I'm going to do this. And it worked. So I continued that. And then from that, I thought, well, what am I going to do now? So over the years, I've gradually built up my routine. So then I thought, right, so from my card trick, I do the paddle trick. From that, I do the colour changing knives, because I talk about how it's the same method. You don't know the method, but it's the same method, but this, and I do the colour changing knives. From that, I do the invisible deck, and then I do... I change the ending a few times, but I always end with... No, sorry, I change the bits in between, but I always end with Omni deck. So I do the card trick opener, then I do the paddle routine, invisible deck, because it's just, these are workers, and then I mix it up a little bit if I have a little bit longer with the table, but if I just want to end it there, I'll just go straight to Omni deck, boom, done. And I've done the same 6 or 8 tricks for the past 6 or so years.
And I suppose if there's someone that you don't want to perform any more magic for when you've done one trick, just do Omni deck and say, cards have disappeared, see you later.
Just cut it short, yeah, absolutely. But no, it was, Neil was telling me this once, he said, Paul Daniels toured the world with 6 tricks. And it's always made me think like, well, if I just do 6 tricks forever, I will be the best at those 6 tricks because I've only ever done them. And that's kind of my outlook on things. Yeah, I'm probably going to change things in and out of it now and then, but it's not. I don't really change a lot.
Yeah.
I literally stick to the same tricks. The card trick opener that I do, it doesn't get a great reaction, to be fair, every single time. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But
Yeah.
I still enjoy performing it, so I'll always perform that.
Yeah.
Then the paddle thing, that always gets a reaction, so I'll always do that, and I enjoy performing it. And the Omni deck, obviously, that's a true worker. But yeah, so
Like, it's the same speaking to a lot of other magicians who like primarily wedding and events. They'll have 5 or 6 tricks that they just do all the time because, like you said, instead of doing 10 tricks and be 50% good at it, you do 5 and be 100% good at those 5 tricks.
yeah. That's sort of the outlook that I have on it. Like, yeah, now and then I'll put something in and say, oh, this is a new thing. Leviosa, yeah. Well, like, oh yeah, this is a new thing I've been working on, and I'll try it a few tables, and then I'll think, by the end of the wedding or the restaurant, I'll think, is it good enough to put in there? If not, it just goes back on my shelf, and I only perform it for friends, family, and well, I just play with it every now and then or something. But the same 6 always stay.
Yeah.
And as I say, I think if you just do the same 6, you'll, well, in Empire especially, some people come in there quite regular, and they always come to me, have you got any new things? Because I always do the same 6 tricks. And so I always have to have something that they haven't seen on me. So I'll always keep the same 6 on me, but if I see people that I see quite regular, I'll have something in my pocket that they won't have seen before.
Yeah.
And that I can perform pretty confidently and still get a good reaction from them.
I suppose that'd be good for you, so you're not just doing the same stuff over and over and get sick of it. It's like something fresh and new that you can do with it.
Yeah. I haven't got sick of it yet. Well, no, I have and I haven't. Like, I'm not ever sick of performing magic. But, yeah, performing the same 6 stuff, it can get a bit tedious, but it's different every time because the people are different. It's not always the same reaction. It's not always the same interaction that I get with people.
Yeah.
So it's every single time it is different, so it does change it up a little bit there. If I was doing the same trick all over the time, and at the end of it, they were just going, well done, and they weren't really talking back, interacting with me, laughing at the jokes, it'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this one anymore. I'm pretty bored of it now. If they're bored of it, I'm bored of it now.
Yeah. So about the wedding stuff, how did you get into that? Did you decide?
I saw there was money there to be made. No. So how did I first get into weddings? So this is how it went. So from Empire's owner owned a restaurant. I got into the restaurant. In that restaurant, there was me and 2 other magicians, Andy Larmouth, and I said, I went there one night when Andy was working, and I just started talking to him. I said, Andy, can we meet up one time and, just chat about what you do and stuff? And he said, I do a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
He said, all you need to do is, like, if you want to do the weddings, get into the wedding fairs. So I've been searching the wedding fairs, doing the ones that he doesn't do, and do them. And from there, that's kind of how that started. Wedding magic's just great because it's just something that's, well, obviously when you do magic to the bride and groom, and you can make it personal to them, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And then just everyone at a wedding is always up for it. They're always up for having a good laugh. So I like performing weddings, but that's kind of how it started. I worked in the restaurant, and then I met Andy, and then Andy sort of said, like, get yourself into the wedding scene. That's where every magician's doing. So it was all from that. So it all stems from Empire to restaurant to wedding.
Well, he's got a lot to answer for, Andy, hasn't he? Because that's how I got into magic as well.
Exactly. You saw him at the wedding fairs, being a photographer yourself. You got into that, and that's how you got into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, how have you been sort of progressing with the weddings? Has it been good for you?
So yeah, the past, I've only done weddings maybe for the past 5 years, and just starting out, I maybe did 2 the first year, 3 or 4 the next year, 5 last year, something like that. And then I've been doing wedding fairs for those years as well.
Yeah.
And then this year, everyone's just been like, at once, just, can I book you, and I must have got about 15 or something in January alone. I was just like, where the hell did this come from? But I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But obviously it's those years of work of doing wedding fairs, of the restaurants that people are seeing me, that are getting my name out there. It's like, it's all just came in one go, and it's like a bit scary because I'm like, whoa, where the hell is this coming from? Am I going to actually have to quit my job? But it's grown, and grown and grown and grown. But then this year it's popped. If you know what I mean, I blew a balloon up, and then this year it's just popped, and then everyone's just booked in one go, and I'm like, wow, okay. So all them wedding fairs and everything like that was worth it.
Mm-hmm. And then in the past, I know you've done at least one, but have you done any other like bigger stage shows and stuff? Because you did one with Middlesbrough.
So yeah, Patrick put that show on. We talked about it in Tricky Talk, didn't we? The first one. No, Patrick put that show on. That was my first experience on stage. But I've done sort of little parties where they've asked me to do some stand-up stuff. So I've done that. This year, Middlesbrough's putting on a bigger event in the theatre. So I'm including that and doing the Illusions as well. But other than that, no. I've got a lot of stuff ready for stage stuff. It's probably more... I'm writing a stage show at the minute. I've got like a rough sketch of how I want to do it. But I don't want to put it out there till it's perfect because I want to be happy with it as well. And then I'll be doing that. So it's in the works, you know, but I wouldn't say it's tomorrow. It will be this year because I definitely want to do it because I've just accumulated all this stage stuff. I did a stand-up night once. I did an open mic night once at a brewery.
How did that go?
It was quiet, to be fair. I went... I was so pissed. I'll tell you the story. I went... So a cousin's friend of mine was a singer, and she said, "Oh, doing an open mic night." We went to the open mic night, presuming that there was going to be people there getting up, and I messaged her. I said, "Can I do some magic? I know it's probably all singers and stuff like that, but can I do some magic?" And she said, "Yeah, you can do some." So I went, and there was her and a friend, me and my girlfriend and my friend and his girlfriend and two people. The two people were just there for the open mic night or just there for a drink.
Yeah.
And we were the only two people performing. But I got really drunk because I was like so nervous to get up. So I thought, I'm going to get really drunk before I go up and then do it. And I got there and I went, there's no one here. So I ended up doing it anyway and everyone had a great laugh. All the staff had a great laugh and stuff like that. So it was a good warm-up practice with no one there. But that's kind of my extent of stage stuff. As I say, I am writing a little stage bit to do in the brewery again. Kind of like the style of Wes Barker. You know, like he just gets up and does a couple of daft things and stuff like that.
So like the comedy magic.
Comedy magic, yeah. Yeah, I want to do that. Get up there, tell jokes. But I want to do my illusions as well.
Yeah.
But I want to make them funny. I don't want to just do the classic jumping around on stage, being all flamboyant. I want to make it funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I want to do that. So it's in the works. As I said, I've wrote the show. It's just getting the help now because I want to start with a little video, a little 5-minute video that plays. So I need to do that, and then I need to get an assistant to do all my illusions that I want to do.
Yeah.
As I said, Paige can do most of them. We're working on doing the other ones. So until she's ready as well, I can't really do much.
Yeah.
Or unless I find someone that can fit in all the boxes. Do you know? What was the question again? Oh, yeah, stage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it really, to be fair. I haven't really had much experience with stage. Just done, a few stand-up bits. But, so I'll tell you this. So I'd more or less say I do a show now. Because there's magicians at weddings that do like a couple of tricks and then they'll go off and do a couple more tricks to someone else, a couple more tricks to someone else.
Yeah.
So with me doing the same tricks over and over again, let's say I do a group and I only do 4 tricks or maybe 4 or 5 tricks. I make that into more of a show for every group rather than just a couple of close-up tricks. So I would say I do a show, but I do it per group. That's how I sort of say it. Because my show that I do for a group of 10 people, I could perform that to 100 people. Do you know what I mean? So it's just I do it over and over and over again. So yeah,
it's
I'm
like
kind of doing a show.
Are all the tricks linked and there's like a story and...
Yeah, so the first trick and the last trick, when I talk about the last trick, it links back to the first trick that I did. And then the encore trick, if I do it, it links back to the previous trick as well. So they all link and stuff like that. So it is like kind of like a show. So everything that I do in my close-up set, I could perform on stage if I wanted to. You know what I mean? So I'd say I'm ready for a stage show because I could just go do my close-up set on stage.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about socials and stuff? How do you embrace it or? Yeah,
I love it. I love Facebook. I love Instagram. I don't really push it as probably much as I should, but I don't get a lot. You know, I get more inquiries through Facebook than Instagram, which I thought was strange because I thought Instagram would be the thing to have. But no, I don't overly push it. When I'm doing a wedding, I'll share the pictures. When I'm doing a wedding fair, I'll share them there. When I'm doing a restaurant, I'll share them there. When Empire posts photos of me, I'll share them. But other than that, I don't really like advertise myself on there because, as I say, I've done that through the years of doing the wedding fairs. So no, I don't ever post much personal stuff. I don't ever really post like anything that I'm super busy or anything like that. I just kind of post what I do.
What about like performance videos? Have you thought about putting some?
I used to do a few. I did a few on my old Instagram, and then I've done a few on my Magic Instagram. But so I have a full-time job as well, so it's just kind of fitting. So on my days off, I do the gigs, and when I work, so it's like trying to find time to do the
like a nice balance of enjoying some time off while trying to promote yourself.
Like I'm happy to post the videos, but as I say, I would want to perfect them before I post them. And the only tricks that I'm perfected are like perfected are the 6 ones that the 6 tricks that I do. And I don't want to post them because by the time that people have seen that and then say, "Oh, we'll book you for a gig," and I do the same trick, "Oh, we've already seen that. What else can you do?" So I like to leave that. Like, I'd love a reaction video. I know we were talking earlier on about you coming to a few gigs with me or a few weddings with me about and just doing the reaction videos for me. So I think it's best if when you're watching a magician for a wedding, you know, and the message you're going, "Oh, have you got any tricks that you can show?" I think it's best that you see the reaction videos because you can see what I do rather than what tricks I'm doing.
That's the main emphasis of like, you want to push yourself as a magician because when you're performing, people are enjoying it. This is the reactions that I get from doing my magic. It could be any trick at all.
I can't get them reactions on a video. Do you know what I mean? I'm just demonstrating the trick. Whereas what you're watching, if you were to record it, what you'd be watching is the reactions from what happens when you see that trick. It's not the trick itself. I'd say it's more me than the trick itself because I tell a lot of jokes. I'm not afraid to tell a bad joke as well, and it's all about the audience interaction and stuff like that. So it's not to me. It's not about the trick. The tricks that I do are very basic. As I said before, if I can't do a trick in 5 minutes, I don't want to do it. It's just too difficult. But yeah, I think the trick is better when the pat is better. Do you know what I mean? Because anyone can do an invisible deck. But when you incorporate the whole stories and every joke that you tell when you're doing it, because I can take that trick that can last 30 seconds to now lasting about 2 or 3 minutes. Do you know what I mean? With all the jokes that I tell.
So what about in the future? Where do you see yourself going as a magician?
I don't know. I'm just riding the wave. I'm just riding the wave. Eventually I'm gonna fall off when I'm either too old to do magic or no one wants to book a 50-year-old magician to come do magic at your wedding. I don't know, maybe they do.
Well, I don't know, there's been some quite older generation magicians I've seen at weddings.
Have you? Well, I don't know.
I suppose there's the different generation thing. Like, a lot of the older magicians do the older style tricks, whereas our and your generation is doing different things to them. So like in the future there might still be different things, but yours is still quite up to date.
Well, one thing I don't want to do is, it might shock a few people, but I don't ever want to do magic full time. Because I enjoy what I do now, and you can see from when I perform, you can see that I enjoy what I do. But as soon as it's now a job that I have to do to live, to make money, I then feel like, instead of, I'm going out to do a wedding today, I can't wait, I'm going to entertain everyone, and it's a little bit of good pocket money for you. Now it's a job that you need to go to and earn the money.
Might potentially start to hate it because it's thinking,
it's like, so I don't want to wake up tomorrow and go, I have to go to work today, I have to do a wedding. Do you know what I mean? I'm not ever going to cancel a wedding, do you know what I mean? But I don't ever want to, like, you always have that option when you've got a job. and you do magic as well, you always have those options, you know, to, I don't know, go on holiday and go out with your friends. And, you know, if someone says, oh, will you do a gig? You know, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Even if you're not busy and you just want that day off, you can go, oh, no, sorry, I'm busy that day. And you can pass the gig on. Yeah. Whereas if it was a job, I'm like, even if I was, you know, we were planning a holiday or something like that, I'd feel like, well, I can't turn it down because I need the money. Do you know what I mean? So I don't ever want to do it as a full-time job. It might shock a few people because everyone goes, oh, I'd love to do magic as a full-time job. Yeah. But then you've got to think about it in that sort of sense. You don't want to fall out of love with it, you know, and have to perform to make money.
Yeah. Do you think you'll add anything into those 6 tricks?
All the time, I do. Honestly, the beginning 2 tricks always stay the same because one gets a great reaction and the other one I love performing, and then the last one will always stay. In the middle, it's all just mush. I do have a few in there that I'm, you know, happy to always keep in there. But like, yeah, when I see something at Blackpool or something like that, I'll add it in or something, and I'll just always keep it in a pocket. And if I ever want to perform it, I will. So the middle's mush. The side tricks are the where it is. But I still have the same couple in there that I can always perform with confidence. But as I say, the first 2 and the last one, or well, the first 2 and the last 2, they stay. Yeah. The middle's just mush.
If anyone wants to find you out and make a booking or anything, where can I find you?
Just search Matt Cooper Magician on any socials. I have TikTok, but I don't use it.
Just
Instagram,
so Spudman.
Just watch Spudman, yeah. No, Instagram, Matt Cooper Magician. Facebook, Matt Cooper Magician. That's it. I don't really do anything else. I don't do Twitter. Yeah. I don't do TikTok. If I started doing... I have the TikTok ready to do, so if I start ever doing videos, they'll go on there. I think I have one video on there, and it's only to do with... I think it was a New Year's Eve thing, and I just shared it. I might have 2, to be fair. I don't even remember. But yeah, I only have the 2 socials. That's how you find me.
Yeah. Have you got any closing words or thoughts or anything that you want to share before it finishes?
Support Keith and everything he does because he's a trooper. He has some great content on his channel. Me and him do a podcast called Tricky Talk together. I was just his second magician to do on Fusco and Friends. I don't really have any closing thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all at Blackpool.
Just remember, it's just a card trick.
Just remember, it's just a card trick. That's our another podcast. And yeah, give them a watch. They're really good. Not really, but like watch them anyway.
Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for
thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Until next time.
See ya. Brilliant stuff.